So, you know, Ken Dawson was here and we talked a lot about wins that people don't often talk about, specific to African Americans in West Feliciana and across the country. But here in East Baton Rouge Parish, we've had some wins as well. But then there's also perspective to be had about the last few years. And you're going to get a chance to listen to a dialogue about perspective next week on the campus of Baton Rouge Community College. They're hosting their inaugural Community Leadership Summit. One of the featured speakers there will be General Russell Honore. So here with me to talk about this, Dr. Chandra Joseph, Dr. Pamela Jones, who has been kind of the lead, the engine behind this thing since it started. So let's start with where this all came about. Where was the idea born to have this summit?
Sure. So thank you first and foremost, Clay, for having us here with you again. Excited to be here and to showcase our Community Leadership Summit. The premise of this was actually built from a friend of mine, Dr. Joyce Plummer, former Joyce Plummer.
Great person.
Exactly.
We lost her, what, last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Dr. Plummer and I had a dialogue about how do we convene leaders throughout the community, talk about the positives that are happening, and to help break down silos. I happen to work for a phenomenal chancellor, Dr. Willie E. Smith, who is so passionate about connecting the community to the education opportunities that we offer at BRCC. And so through our dialogue and his passion for what we do through our school, the conversations grew, and then the development of what we're now putting together called the Community Leadership Summit.
I think it's great. And in addition to the panel discussion that will feature Dr. Cito Narcisse, Sheriff Sid Gautreaux, General Russell Honore, Dr. Joseph, you're on the panel as well, correct?
I am not
You're
on
not
the panel. No, I will be a
add
speaker.
You to the panel, right? No. There's also going to be a voter registration drive,
That
right?
is correct.
That's going to be happening before the panel.
That before and
After the panel.
That
right.
is correct.
So it's a full day of activities on BRCC's campus. So there are 4 pillars, Dr. Joseph: education, the economy, health and wellness, and social justice. And we had a great conversation yesterday with Sid Gautreaux, Sheriff Gautreaux, about this. What is your biggest hope, Dr. Joseph, in terms of the outcome of this day of activities?
So I'm hoping that through the summit, we can get people around the community to understand how our community college, BRCC, through our education with our criminal justice program, can assist with all of the, I would say, the lapses within law enforcement, which is why we have, of course, Sheriff Gautreaux on the panel with us. And we do a really phenomenal job in our criminal justice department with our students, getting them out into the field once they graduate.
Yeah. You know, there was a press conference there, Dr. Jones, maybe 4 or 5 months ago in the library at BRCC, announcing a collaboration between the school and I think BRPD in terms of law enforcement. I remember being there, and then the dialogue there was about how forward-thinking the campus is. You talked about Dr. Smith. He really is phenomenal. I mean, focused on being the absolute best he can be. Let's get into the pillars.
Sure.
I mentioned it: education, economy, social justice, and then health and well-being.
Correct.
How'd you choose those 4?
So that's a great question. Instead of us making the assumptions of what's out there and what's critical and important, we took the initiative to connect with the urban discovery sessions. We went to 3 councilmen to their districts, to District 5, 6, and 7, through the support of Lamont Cole, Cleve Dunn, and also Darrell Hurst. And we spoke with people in the community and got feedback from them and designed this summit specifically to dialogue on these pressing needs.
Yeah, and you know, the conversation, I've referenced it a couple times with the sheriff that we had yesterday, the focus that needs to be given to disinvested communities so that it enhances the community as a whole is top of mind. And you got a chance. He and I have had these conversations. You got a chance to hear how passionate he is about that.
Powerful.
If that little brief conversation is a taste of what's going to happen next week, people are in for a treat.
Yes.
You also are going to have a call to action at the end of the panel discussion. Talk a little bit about that.
Right. So the whole premise there is really because we're bringing leaders to this summit. We're inviting, it's open to the community, open to the public for them to join. But we want to see faith-based leaders. We want to see nonprofits. We want to see business and industry leaders in the room. And we want to see them walk away with strategic action items in these last 122 days of this year.
Right.
We're already in the last quarter.
Can you believe that?
Yes, and we want to see what will they bring to the table to help make the city of Baton Rouge the best that it can be.
The event is next Thursday on the campus of Baton Rouge Community College. There's the graphic on the screen there. You see the iconic General Russell Honore, who will be speaking at the event, but also will be a part of the panel that'll happen after that. The public is invited to attend. Get it on your calendars. Let's have this great dialogue. I appreciate y'all for coming on with me.
Thank you for having us.
All right, let's get you sharp next.